All right. 3 years ago today, this podcast, Productive Conversations, launched. We are 3 years down the line, 275 plus episodes, millions of views on our reels, tens of thousands of downloads, and we're just getting started. So this is our third anniversary show. It's a TweetCap. And as we begin our third year, just want to thank you, the greatest fans and listeners in the world, for supporting us no matter what and being the best fan base around. And you know what? We're only going to keep leveling up year after year after year. So cheers to 3 years of this show, and let us start the next chapter. Jose and Ryan here for the TweetCap and the third anniversary show. What's up?
How's it
What's
going,
up?
Matt? Happy 3 years.
Thank you very much. Pretty cool stuff, and I have one of my best and favorite panels ever to celebrate with. I really mean that. And let's just keep doing what we normally do. So let us begin right here, right now. Let us first start with a huge story this week. Jada Pinkett Smith, everybody. She has released a new memoir, and a lot of people have been keeping their eye on it. A lot of people are pretty fascinated for what she has to say. And I mean, this book, for a second, what's the book called? I should know it.
Worthy. The book is called Worthy.
Worthy. So
Yeah.
she's in Worthy. This book talks about, her bout with suicide and her relationship with Tupac Shakur. And obviously the big thing that we'll probably talk about the most is her marriage to Will Smith. And
Yeah.
some people say she has said some very emasculating things, if you will, towards him. But there could also be another perspective on it as well. First, Ryan, you actually took the time to check out some of the excerpts. What do you
Yes.
think of the book itself, what she has to say? And then, Jose, what do you think about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith?
Yeah, I was on Worthy Watch. So obviously the big part of this book, the thing that everyone is focusing in on, there's a second book that has a very similar narrative that we'll get into later, also came out this or started to come out this week, but is her relationship to Will Smith. That slap gets some pretty detailed coverage, both like some background as to what happened there, as well as to her own feelings about it, which I thought were particularly interesting. So Matt, I don't know if you knew this, if you saw this, but three things. One, Will Smith and Chris Rock don't get along. That's like
Oh,
apparently a thing. That's
What?
not like, yeah, Will Smith and Chris Rock have got some personal and professional beef. It's not like serious, but
like
they're not
prior to the
friends.
slap, that
Correct.
just
Pre-slap, that there were issues there pre-slap
uh-oh.
throughout their acting career. Number two, Chris Rock, when the rumors about the divorce, which by the way, Will and Jada both, in response to this book, she says it in the book, he says it in response, are say that divorce is literally never happening. They will not divorce. Um, she said that.
Nice. True love.
Oh no, I don't know about your love, but we can talk about that in a second. But right when the separation rumors and divorce rumors started spreading, apparently Chris Rock asked Jada Pinkett Smith out on a date, to which she replied that it's not like that, and he apologized and he didn't press it. So this is not like a cancel Chris Rock moment. He just thought they were separate and they were not.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day of the slap, the big reveal was she didn't ask him to do that. She was shocked that he did it because they hadn't been together for 6 years. They'd been separated for 6 years at that point, like prior to him slapping her. But she said the most shocking thing was that he called her his wife. She wasn't expecting that. But she said it was touching. She actually said that she really appreciated that he called her his wife. And so yeah, uh, I thought that was interesting. I thought that whole bit, all of the Chris Rock stuff, I thought was interesting because I thought it would just be like, a real quick, like, yeah, shouldn't have done it, right? I thought she would just be like, that's what Chris Rock has said, that's what Will Smith has said, just kind of like do the professional line. But no, she gave all kinds of detail about, them not getting along, about him asking her out years prior, about her being surprised, and about how happy she was at the moment not because of the slap, which she knew would be a problem, but
Mm-hmm.
because he said wife, which I was like, this is a weird relationship. Like that was like a romantic moment because he called her his wife.
She was.
And so, but I think it does speak to something. When you gave me this assignment, Matt, obviously the thought process is Jada is weird, and she is. And she makes Will Smith look like a, insert,
Jose, what
emasculating
word would you
adjective.
use?
Okay, yeah,
Will
Jose,
Smith
what
look.
word would you use?
Bitch.
Okay. And so like that was the prism with which I was viewing this originally, like to look for that. And I don't know, it feels, I mean, she does do that, but it does feel like perhaps Will Smith isn't like great at being married, right? Sounds like Will Smith maybe isn't like awesome at feelings and showing love. He's even said as much. Now, again, basically at this point, anytime Will Smith talks, everyone just assumes Jada made him say it. So there's nothing we can do to prove that Will Smith means any of the things he said in response to this book. But after reading the book, I kind of believe it might be true, in which he's like, yeah, you know what? I probably didn't, respect some of the stuff that you were saying when you said it. I kind of did probably just ignore you in ways I shouldn't have, and I apologize. But yep. And to the divorce thing, the last thing I'll talk about in terms of the things to look out for when you read this book, Will Smith tried to get a prenup. Now she is not his first wife; she is his second wife. And
Mm-hmm.
she said no. And now she's famous too, so this is, to be clear, this is not like I just want Will Smith's money thing. She'd been in movies at this point, several movies actually. Will Smith tried to get her to come on his show after seeing her in a movie. So like, she had her own, you know what I
As
mean? It
in
was
Fresh
not,
Prince.
yeah, sorry, Fresh Prince, yes. So she had her own. This was not a, I want that Will Smith money. She said, if we're going into this assuming it's going to end in divorce, then why are we going into it? And he said, that's a fair point. And they didn't get a prenup. And from that point on, they both basically said that we'll never get divorced because we're not doing this thinking we're going to get divorced. And so we're not going to. And that is why, despite all of the rumors, all of the, red table talks in which Will Smith has to quietly sit and listen to his wife and partner kind of berate him a little bit, they're not getting divorced. He won't do it. She won't do it. That's not what they signed up for. They signed up for forever. They also did build themselves a little sex room. That's in the book. So there you go. If you wanted to read a little bit about that. This is actually from 6 hours ago, Matt. I think this word made me laugh. Will Smith called his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith brutal, meaning brutal and beautiful put into one. Brutal. And so basically, this book proves to me that Jada Smith actually had a hard go of it, I think, relatively speaking. And more importantly, they are the weirdest couple in Hollywood, probably ever. I'm not sure there's ever going to be, past, present, or future, a couple stranger than Will and Jada, because they won't, again, they're not going anywhere. They're gonna stick this thing out to the bitter end, but they say things like brutal. It is wild, but I'm probably gonna get the book. Actually, I think I might enjoy reading it.
Oh, stop it!
What? It's a book. I might enjoy reading it.
Oh, God.
Jose, what are your thoughts after hearing all of this?
What's the book called again?
Worthy.
Worthy? Well, I'll tell you, this ain't worthy of my time to read.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not saying you have to read it. It seems the excerpts were well written. It seemed interesting. So to me, I'm like, I might read that. It doesn't change my opinion of her.
And she's a B actress that married a big movie megastar at the time. And you find out later, 20, 30 years later, that he's a big bitch. Congrats.
Didn't we kind of notice this with his clean rapping? Maybe that was a sign from before.
Well, didn't he cheat on his first wife?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Well,
and he cried about it. He would, and I heard a story he would cry about, man, I have feelings for someone else and crying. He really is one sensitive dude, I guess.
This book made, like, I get it. Like, she's just trying to, in a PR like in a PR situation.
I didn't get
get
PR
it.
from
Like,
I didn't get PR from this at all.
come on, that last year she was getting butt. Well, I'm not gonna excuse what I'm gonna say.
No.
She was getting rammed.
She brings that up. She brings that up in the book.
And then the book, supposedly the book comes out the next year. She couldn't rate that any fast enough to clear her name on the shit.
But that's the thing. My thing is, she didn't need to because Will's gonna back her up, no matter what. Like even before I told you everything I told you, everyone knew that no matter what she did, Will's gonna back her up. Do you think this
chick is really? Do you guys think this chick is worth it? He ruined his whole career. He lost all street cred. Nobody in the movie business wants anything to do with them.
That's not true.
And now
I don't think he could be a box office star anymore.
He's never gonna be. Never ever.
He got his reward. His award. He doesn't need it. He just needs paychecks now. What does he need to prove? Street cred. He's Will Smith. He's got more money than the three of us combined will ever have. He's got his accolades. The Academy gave him his flowers despite assaulting someone that year. Like he did it.
Don't you think he'll be known as the ultimate cuckold?
No, I mean you guys will call him that, but he doesn't give a fuck about you guys. No, seriously, he doesn't give a fuck. Like I can't stress that enough.
No, he gives a shit. That's why he's in a fucking boat in the middle of fucking Alaska. Like he already knew this shit was going to come. He bounced.
It's impressive that you think Will Smith thinks about any of us at all, ever.
But that's what he does.
He's very sensitive. You got to admit.
He's emotional.
Sure, that's okay. That's why he could be emotional. Guys are emotional.
He punched somebody he slapped somebody in the face, and then 30 minutes later, he's fucking crying, asking for people's forgiveness.
He slapped somebody in the face for somebody who didn't even like him.
Well, that's not true. They do like each other. They do like each other. They just aren't currently together. By the way, I did a quick check. So they got married in '97. Will Smith's only box office hit at that point was Bad Boys, which was 2 years prior. They got married before Men in Black. So, to answer your question, no, she did not marry up. He had been in one movie.
Hold on. When was Independence Day?
After
96.
It was all. All of his big stuff was right after.
Well, if Independence Day was released in '96, that means he made the movie in '95 or '94.
Let me see if I can.
It made a year prior.
See if I can get his.
But regardless, though, this is the thing we could get out of this is this is the weirdest relationship ever. I mean, did we feel?
Yes, this is the weirdest relationship ever. That I won't argue a single bit of that.
Do you find Jada Pinkett empowering after this or inspiring?
No. I mean, some people.
I don't know if that's what she wanted, but
I don't think she cared. Well, I think she just wanted to write a book.
So did she write this book ultimately as a reaction to the slap incident?
No, it covers all.
I think so.
Well, it covers a lot more.
Yeah,
than that. The slap is not a big part of it.
Listen, if you read the book, you're only reading it for the Tupac shit. You're only reading for the
Tupac shit's in there. I mean, she talks about her
Will Smith and ending.
So she talks about like if you're interested in her stuff, which I don't know much about her, but she talks about her like upbringing. She talks about her, the suicidal stuff, the mental health stuff at length, obviously. So I guess that stuff could be a little bit empowering to the right crowd, right? If you're a person who looks to celebrities for that kind of inspiration. But yes, I do think that obviously the bits that most people are interested in is what is going on with Will Smith and the Tupac stuff, because she does bring it up a lot. So, and I do think she does. I mean, she talks about both of them. Obviously, Will Smith, especially because it's her husband. She talks about her kids or whatever. I mean, on the mental health stuff, she talks about ayahuasca helping get rid of her suicidal
who else likes that stuff?
Aaron Rodgers. So they could probably, talk about that. But she set up a family trip, but not a trip, like a trip on ayahuasca for her whole family, including her children. They've all tripped together. All of the Smiths have tripped together, which I do think is
not
weird.
Surprised.
That's what I mean. Like, so I'm not even gonna say, I can't sit here and be like, it's not weird. Their relationship is freaking weird. Their family is weird. The whole thing is weird. But I do think that she probably would have wrote this book even if the slap hadn't happened. I don't think as many people would have bought the book if the slap didn't happen. So I think timing wise, that may have been why she wrote it as quick as she did, to kind of speak to what you said earlier, Jose. Like she couldn't get it out fast enough. That's probably true. I think she realized that was like such a moment for people to remember, that she wanted to get this book out quickly, so it was still top of mind. But I think that she just figured that she had enough of a story, being, married to Will Smith, having the Tupac connection in her own like life or whatever. She talked about her band. I didn't know she was in a band. Apparently she's got a band, a heavy metal band too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was like, yeah, so
Jesus.
she clearly has she has enough interesting anecdotes about her life that she could fill a book, to basically, to your point, Jose. Do I think that anybody would have read it without the slap? Probably not very many. Again, if you're a Will Smith fan, you might have picked it up because his wife wrote a book. But
parents just don't understand.
But yeah, I do think that the slap probably dictated the timing of this book. I don't think it's the existence of this book. I don't think that's why she wrote it. I think she really felt that she had enough about herself to write a book. But I do think the slap probably basically pushed her into writing this book now, and getting it out there as quickly as she could. So I do agree with that. But
well, I mean, realistically, she's just trying to stay in the limelight, really, because she lost her TV show like right after. I think Red Table Talk. She lost that. She don't do that show anymore. Now she put that book out.
Also, by the way, Will Smith's doing another Bad Boys film in 2024.
Because
that's the only thing that's gonna.
But I know they have to use him, but he is making one of those Bad Boys 4 in 2024. So,
man, why don't we now switch to another book that just so happened to drop at the same time here? So Britney Spears, everybody. Britney Spears. She dropped her memoir.
Can't wait for that book.
Oh, that one you're gonna read now. You're gonna read
the Woman in Me.
The Woman in Me you're into, but Worthy is too far. Okay.
Well,
all right, let's hear it.
All right, first, what are your thoughts on the book so far? And the first question I should ask, Jose, why are you interested in buying Britney Spears' book?
Because that bitch is crazy. And why not?
I'd argue Jada is too, but yeah.
No offense. No, Jada, if I want to hear alopecia stories, sure, I'll give it I'll give it a whirl.
He's gonna slap you for saying that again.
I'll give to you. We're 90% of the 50% of the fucking world bald. Get used to it. Shit, I'm bald. I ain't gonna blame it on alopecia now. So anyway, I think when a bitch can start dancing with knives and do some like let me slit my throat shit, she already piqued my interest.
That's very morbid. Okay, so you're talking about Britney again.
Yes. Well, I'm done talking about Jada.
All
man,
right.
You want to know something that's fascinating about this Britney book? She's doing no press tour whatsoever.
She doesn't need to.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Not even an Oprah interview. I thought at least Oprah would interview. But the big thing we have to talk about, and the big excerpts coming from the Britney Spears book, is that apparently in the early 2000s, we know Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears were an item. And apparently Justin Timberlake knocked her up. She was pregnant.
Are we saying really apparently though?
No,
That's
it did happen.
facts.
Sorry, it
Come
did
on
happen.
now.
But
He's not confirmed that. Technically, you still have to say allegedly.
Shit.
Okay.
Shit. He cheated on his wife for God's sakes.
That doesn't mean he knocked someone up. You could wear a condom and cheat. Come on.
I'm not. He cheated on Britney. Come on now.
He cheated on everyone. He's cheated on everyone he's been with.
That's true. That's confirmed.
What you did, I already know. I found her from him.
The only thing I got from that insert, that part, is fucking Justin Timberlake is pure genius.
How is he a genius?
I was
because he cheated. He cheated, and then he came off looking like the victim. Put a #1 song out and destroyed this bitch's career, and he's the one that probably started it.
Yes, and that's why he's, by the way, in so much trouble right now because that's clearly
Amazing.
what happened. I'm just saying you technically have to say allegedly. I was going to say you said the big reveal, the less than big reveal, perhaps even below average reveal, is that Justin Timberlake's not very big.
Yes, she did say
according
that.
to Britney Spears. She actually didn't realize that they were in the middle of getting it on until after he informed her that he had already started. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, obviously you didn't need to write that. That one was just because she was
mean.
mad.
That's just straight mean.
That was just because she was mad. But the other thing I think is probably important. The revealing that they got pregnant together and he didn't want to be a dad, so ultimately she acquiesced and terminated the pregnancy. But like you said, Jose, I think that's the reason people are mad, because I know Matt's been asking me all week, like, why does this matter? Like, yeah, they got pregnant, they got rid of the kid, and I don't think, to me, it matters like that. Like, that part doesn't matter. It happens. Like, it happens all the time, right? I think the part that matters is, like you said, like a couple years, like a year after that, presumably based on the timeline she shared, he cheated on her, broke it off, wrote a song about her, and launched a career into superstardom, basically leapfrogging her and pushing her down on the way up. And that wasn't cool. And then we saw where it landed. She had an actual breakdown, lost all of her rights until this year? Like, her dad was basically in charge of her till this year, with the conservatorship. Like, yeah, obviously that's no good. And so he's gonna get tagged for doing that. Again, they were kids. I guess some of it can be blamed on that. I don't know. This is a hard thing to try and justify. I really think, like, he could have been better about all of it at the time. Obviously, he was 19, so maybe, but his apologies have been like very half-assed. You know what I mean? Like,
has he apologized?
Yeah, he basically was like,
I didn't know that.
He was like, we were young, not about the like, not the abortion, just kind of general apologies. Like, he came out during the conservator fight in support of Britney, like, no one deserves this. Like, we dated a long time ago, we were really young, but I made some mistakes, but obviously I support her. Like, it was kind of in that context, but nothing specific. And I feel like, he had to have known this book was coming out.
Yeah, there were reports of him saying Justin is worried.
Yeah, he was warned.
At that point, you gotta come out first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Jose doesn't trust my PR skills. It's my actual job. So I'm gonna give some actual PR skills.
I know the perfect way to watch this all the way.
All right, let's
coming on this podcast.
Sure, but after that,
Step Justin 2. Timberlake, all he needs to do is announce NSYNC World Tour 2024.
Well, so he did do that. He did do that, but I think he did it too early. He probably should have waited a week. But or at the bare minimum, waited till next week when the book actually comes out. But I think he should have maybe come out a little earlier and owned up to some
coming
of it.
Back. What about
admitted perhaps to some of his infidelity with Britney Spears? I don't know how you do it organically. You have to find a way to do it organically. Get a friendly interviewer to ask you a question about Britney Spears and be like, I've wanted to say something for some time. Obviously, yeah, Matt would have done it. Obviously, the abortion thing. You don't want to just say that out loud. It's not his story to tell. Like, yes, he's involved. Yes, it was his, but it's Britney's story to tell, so you don't want to say that. But the other stuff, the cheating and all that, like, you basically have to come out and admit that and apologize before this, and that, I think, would have taken the sting out of that. At that point, it becomes like a tragic story about a young couple, instead of, wow, look at how big a dick this little dick Justin Timberlake has. And so yeah, not good for Justin Timberlake. Probably not that good for NSYNC, to be honest with you. They don't have the drawing power they used to. And this is probably not going to help that their biggest star is, rapidly getting dragged on the internet. But
this is like, what culture?
We'll just forget about it, though. Like, let's be honest.
We've more excited for the tour.
We've ignored Britney Spears for a very long time as society. This won't change. Come November, everyone will be moving on to something completely different. And then by the time the world tour runs around, people will have forgotten all about most of the story. They'll remember the abortion thing. That's pretty ground shaking, I think. So that'll be remembered, but the context and like the feelings and the cheating and all that, that'll be forgotten. The same way the original Britney stuff was forgotten, the same way the Janet Jackson stuff was forgotten. Like,
Man,
people
Justin
will move
Timberlake
on.
gets
How's
away
it
with
really
it,
though?
huh?
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, he's losing his power, so you never know. A couple more of these come out, he could be a real trouble.
You don't have to say what you did.
I can't believe he wrote a song about himself. I can't believe that. I also can't believe. Have you seen that clip? Was it Everything? Not Everything. Every Time. Every Time is the name of the Britney Spears song.
No.
And everyone is looking at it. It's around the same time, and basically, it seems like the song, upon listening to it now, is about her aborted baby, which makes it kind of very sad. It wasn't a happy song to begin with, but like "I Miss You, Baby," things like that. I think it was She was in a hospital during it. She was holding a baby during it at one point. And when she performed it live, she would hold her stomach. Like all these things people have shown on TikTok. I was like, oh Christ, you know what? They're probably right. I don't always trust TikTok conspiracy theorists and like the people who go out there and like look for clues and stuff. Like the Taylor Swift people do a lot of that. But I watched a few of these and I was like, you know what? I think they might be on to something this time. This isn't them reading.
This really is 20 years in the making, huh?
Yeah, that's a big deal, man. I know you were like, is it a big deal? I mean, you can ask Jose what he thinks. I've already told you, and I'll say here, yeah, it's a huge deal. Even if they ended on really good terms, even if they didn't hate each other at all, which obviously, Britney hates Justin Timberlake in case saying he had a small, didn't give that away.
Scrajol.
There you go. So they obviously don't like each other, but even if they didn't, like, that's a really big deal for that to come out. Like, you got a girl, you got your girlfriend like pregnant, and Matt asked me, he was like, what would your wife say? I'd be like, my wife would be incredibly upset. Like and it's not like, I don't know, me personally, you don't separate with somebody for something they did before you even met, right? I'm not saying it's going to end their marriage, but like that's a really kind of a deep, intimate thing for two people to do. And just to think about you doing it with someone else and then hide that, right? So if she didn't know, that's a lot. Like that's a lot to take in. If you didn't know that before, it's one thing like you start dating a guy with a kid. Obviously he has a kid. Or whatever, or a woman with a kid. They have a kid when you get into it. It's not a surprise, but when it hits you as a surprise, I think that makes it really, really hard to just ignore. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna have an impact. It's gonna affect people.
Right. So what side of this ordeal are you taking, Jose?
Of the Britney Spears shit? This shit's gonna blow past in a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna give a shit. Unless, God forbid, please, like I knock on wood right now. Unless she does something really stupid and reckless, then it'll probably come back to Justin. But
the past few years, we just saw her doing like you said, dancing with knives and dancing with G-strings on stuff and like
but she always had somebody. She's like or someone who was always watching her. Now that she's on her own and she's taking she's single.
Yeah, she's not married anymore.
Now she has plenty of time. Her kids bounced with Kevin Federline to like Hawaii and shit. So like your kids don't even want to be near you and shit.
Well, they've all been. I'll say, obviously, this could all be fake. Hollywood is mostly not real. But they've all, including her most recent ex, and her kids, have all been like, "We're proud of our mom," all this good stuff. We love our mom. We support her.
Man,
when they're doing a lot to publicly, at least, be like, we love our mom. We're proud of her for telling her story. Yada yada yada, all that stuff.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
Yeah. Even her most recent ex has said
Well, the most recent ex, of course. He's still waiting for his paycheck. They ain't getting.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have any. I don't have any word on what.
Even the leave Britney alone girl, man, she's really been. I really know Britney more for her scandals than her actual music, like, which is sad because she really is. She is.
I know her for her music. I think.
I mean, of
more than
course,
her
she has great
scandals.
songs. She's definitely has had an amazing career and has a lot of bops. But I think a lot of her scandals definitely
I think it's
overshadowed her
crazy.
too. Remember
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
shaving the head, all the relationship issues, and
Imagine if that hadn't happened. Like, imagine if she got to keep going normal.
yeah,
Like,
she'd
keep
probably be
keep
Taylor
going.
Swift.
She'd be
Honestly,
way bigger than Taylor Swift. No, I know they're gonna be mad at me. She'd be way bigger than
I'm
Taylor Swift.
saving
She's
that.
only because she's got. Oh, hey, you know what? She would have decades on Taylor. Taylor wasn't even born yet.
and no social media helped too. Like, she really was on her
But she
way to
was a
be that big.
huge star, and she lost her
See,
mind.
I don't know
And it
about that.
derailed. She was, dude. Go back, seriously, go back and look
No,
at
I'm
her
not
chart.
saying I get what you're saying, but look at Eminem.
But
Like
he wasn't a
Eminem
pop
was and
star.
around the same, but pop star, but he was as big as fucking Britney Spears.
Yeah, but there's a
Like,
ceiling for rap.
and but
There's a rap ceiling.
Eminem, oh, it's
There's a
Eminem.
ceiling. There is a rap ceiling. There's a
It's
rap ceiling.
Eminem. If you know Britney Spears, I bet you can. For every one person that knows fucking Britney Spears, and you'll get 3 that knows Eminem. It's
Yeah,
Eminem.
but Britney Spears, a pop star is inherently, and this is all pop stars, like is going
This
to
is
have a
TR.
bigger
I know,
audience, a bigger
I know
available
you're.
audience.
I know you're young as hell, but that TRL times, fucking Eminem was #1 every week.
But Britney was right up there in TRL.
I get that's my point. If you know Britney, you know M.
Yeah, but
Eminem
I'm
hasn't
saying
hit a fucking
so
good album
only a
in
certain
10
number of
years.
people, only a certain number of people. There's only a certain group of people who will go and buy a ticket to an Eminem show, who will buy an Eminem album. A pop star is always going to have access to more fans. It's a more popular stuff.
Are you serious
Pop
right
stands
now?
for popular. It's the most popular type of music. The top 40.
My God.
That's literally the name. I'm not making this up.
Britney
Pop
Spears,
means popular.
you realize
Pop
you
means
realize
popular.
Britney Spears was only doing
Pop-
Vegas shows for the last couple of years. Eminem does stadium shows.
I'm not saying now. Britney Spears lost her mind. She's nowhere near Eminem. Eminem is so much bigger than Britney. I'm saying if she hadn't lost her freaking mind, if she had been going on the trajectory she was on forever, and Eminem was going on his current trajectory, I mean, he's a legend.
She'd be in the same trajectory with Justin Timberlake. Ain't nowhere.
She'd be huge.
Justin Timberlake was as big as Britney Spears back in the day, and it ain't going nowhere.
He was smaller than Britney Spears. He had to literally stomp on her to get big.
Are you serious?
That was literally the point. We talked about this at the beginning of the segment. He had to drag her to get a big star.
Oh my God! You know what?
Come on. I can't possibly be the only one who knows that. Britney Spears is bigger than NSYNC at the time. She had more people going to her shows. She was making more money. She was selling more tickets. She was selling more albums.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's numbers. I can show you the numbers.
Britney Spears dolls. You know what?
Early 2000s. Come on now. Come on.
What year were you born?
I was born in 1995.
You were like 6.
But I can read, Jose. I don't need to have been there.
My God.
I can read. There's 2 numbers. One of the numbers is bigger than the other one. The bigger number was for Britney.
There's no way you can remember that time. You don't.
I don't have to remember. I can just read it.
Britney Spears.
I can just read it.
You know what?
Who had more number ones on the top charts? It was Britney Spears. I can just read. I can see all the names on the charts and say, oh, Britney had 5. NSYNC had 3. It's different. 5 is bigger than 3. Yes, I wasn't there. I'm not in NSYNC, but I can read it so I can see what the numbers are.
Justin Timberlake can't have more #1 than Britney Spears when you put Justin Timberlake and NSYNC numbers together combined.
No, but we're not talking about
over
that.
Britney Spears.
We're not talking about that because Britney Spears stopped doing music in 2004. So we can't talk about that. Justin Timberlake had all his best albums were in 2010.
Look, even her trajectory was going down before she went bug-eyed fucking alopecia crazy.
No, I mean, it wasn't going down. She was pretty steady, to be honest with you. But I mean, there's nothing we can do to prove that the public still loves Britney Spears. But the point is, she had a massive career. She was one of the biggest stars in the early 2000s. And then by the end of the early 2000s, she was absolutely insane. And it's just crazy because had she not done that, there's a very good argument that she'd be, on a totally different level right now, that she would be considered an icon of, I mean, she already is kind of, but like, not really. Like, she's more of an icon because like culturally everybody knows Britney Spears, but like she could have been like legitimately a bit of an icon, like a Madonna or whatever. Is that a better comparison? Like just someone that, like, oh, the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, like Britney Spears was, was her, right? Was it.
It's Britney, so, bitch.
It's exactly. People still say that sometimes, but like, yeah, I think that inarguably she was a massive star. Arguably she could have been one of the biggest stars from that generation of musicians and talent had she not basically fallen off a cliff in like 2004.
She's like the Paula Abdul of the 2000s.
I think she probably had a better shot than Paula did at making a dent, but maybe. I don't. That's too early. I don't know enough about Paula Abdul to make that call. That's late 80s, early 90s. I don't know that one.
I'm going to tell you, I'm meeting Paula Abdul in 2 weeks. I'm going to let her know that you said that, Ryan.
She wasn't there, but there's evidence American Idol, and I didn't get it. So
she is American. Paula Abdul is American Idol.
Yeah, I didn't get in. I didn't get in, so I'm gonna blame Paula for me not getting onto American Idol. That's what I'm gonna do. You can tell her I said that as well. Man. Obviously, to be clear, I never saw Paula Abdul. I didn't make it anywhere near that part of the process. So it's not actually her fault. But you could blame her if you want to and see what she says.
Did you really try to go American Idol?
I promise I know what I'm talking about with you. I may not look it, but I promise you I know what I'm talking about.
You don't have to say. All right, this is a good one, man. Would you even last Britney question? Sure. Take all the craziness, all the controversy. Do you think she is a genuine good singer?
Yeah.
I guess.
Like you think you could see her sing like but that always that Britney okay. That's what the vibe. Like, do you think she could sing like "And I Will Always Love You" without saying? I
don't know how powerful her voice is. I don't know about that song specifically, but I think she could probably sing like a song without all of the, pop dressing if she needed to.
I mean, she's not the Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey.
Yeah. No, she can't do Whitney Houston, Matt, but she could sing a normal song, I think, and it would sound fine. So
why don't we switch from one pop star to the other? And this is our Taylor Swift moment of the week. So Alrighty. this past weekend, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were both on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live is known to have their very infamous and big deal after party. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift went to the after party, and paparazzi got photos of them holding hands and actual public displays of affection, and some of these quotes we're hearing. I can't believe. Apparently, there's one instance where Travis Kelce goes to the bodyguard and says, take the time off. I'll take care of her for now. And you know what? At this point, after a solid week and a half of the NFL not throwing them down our throats, and instead of having the paparazzi show us, they looked adorable together. As of now, I support their relationship. I think it's beautiful. I hope they get married. And it was very nice to see. I don't know. And just reading these quotes again out of a rom-com, it's adorable. It's absolutely adorable. And insane. How about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift now at this point? What, like a month into the whatever it is?
Weeks now, yeah.
Do we now, after seeing these paparazzi photos, are you someone like me who believes that this is true love now? Did the paparazzi photos show true love?
Yes, sure. But I don't know if that means they're going to get married. I think you can love someone and not marry them. On a side note, my wife took me to see the Taylor Swift movie this weekend as well. So I saw that.
Really? Did you really?
I did see that, yeah.
Did you stand up and dance?
I did not, no. No one did. Actually, not a lot of dancing in ours. A lot of singing. A lot of people sang along, and that was fun, but not a lot of dancing. Only a couple people danced.
Oh my god! Like they literally got out of their seats.
Couple
And
people, yeah.
what
They
about the
had
people
glow
doing
sticks.
the people doing the ring around the rosy?
No one did any of Ring
That,
Around
that
the Rosie.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I went to the movies this weekend,
It's loud in there.
I saw a lot of hot girls there. I ain't gonna front.
Were they in? Would they have friendship bracelets? That's how you can
I
tell.
don't fucking.
That's a
Well, I
Taylor
don't
Swift
fucking
thing.
know, but I was
Taylor
just looking
Swift.
at
So
their asses going in that theater.
oh, anyways, did you hear like a lot of? So was the movie good?
Okay, here we go. The movie was fine. The concert was good. As I've mentioned on this show, I don't know if Jose was here on this show just yet. For my second anniversary next October, my wife and I were looking very seriously at trying to get tickets to one of her shows, either in Miami or New Orleans. They're a week apart, and so we're going to just take that week between them off, do like a big trip, and either start the week off or end the week with the Taylor Swift concert. And the tickets were crazy expensive, obviously. And my wife was like, no, it's too much money. But I was not so sure. I waited because it was early. I didn't need to get them right away. I was like, you know what? I was willing to pay a lot more than my wife was for these tickets because she really wanted to see this show. And then the movie came out and she's like, we're going to go. I was like, okay. I am incredibly grateful that I didn't buy tickets to the concert.
You got the experience
For that price. I would still go to the concert, obviously. But so it was just a normal concert, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe it's like Taylor Swift fans, a lot of them are younger, maybe they haven't been to a lot of concerts, maybe that's the problem. But I mean, so she sang a little bit from each album, which is common. Like artists do that all the time. They sing the hits from their albums, right? Like no artist is like, I'm just doing one album, don't worry. Like they'll sing a couple songs from their other albums and then they'll focus on their newer stuff that they haven't toured. Like that's pretty much what a live show is for every band. Mm-hmm. And that's what she did. Most of her songs are from her newest album or the 2 COVID albums. Then she had a couple of other ones sprinkled in the different eras.
You said it. You said the title of the movie.
I did say the title. Obviously, there was like a lot of stage stuff with like fireworks, and obviously in person that would have been more impressive. But they had a lot of choreography. The dancers were very good. The band was very good. But again, any pop show will have a lot. Like I have to imagine. I've never seen this person live, but I have to imagine like a Lady Gaga or Ariana Grande show would look pretty similar in 2023 to what we watched Taylor Swift do. Big sets, a lot of backup dancers, lights and stuff, and then a couple of songs from older stuff, a couple of new songs, maybe some stuff for Lady Gaga from like her movie. Like I didn't see what made this concert substantially different, with the major exception being that everyone watching this concert was of the firm belief that this was the greatest moment of their life. That was the only difference, was everyone in the audience would have been happy dying in the moment. Like the ones I saw on screen, not necessarily in the movie theater. Like the people on the screen at SoFi, that's where they filmed it, looked like if they all died that day, they would literally have died happy. That's how excited they were to see Taylor Swift perform. And that was literally the only thing I could see that was different about Taylor Swift's show from what I assume every other pop star would do in 2023. And so kudos to the Swifties.
She needs to retire after this, honestly.
Kudos to the Swifties, because you took what was just a good show and turned it into some sort of weird, iconic thing by yourselves. Nothing in that show is iconic to me, besides how freaking loud and how freaking excited all of the people in SoFi were for that show. That was the only part that stood out to me.
Jesus,
genuinely.
You see why I joke around and say she's the most important person in the world.
Her fans certainly think so.
Can I read the critical consensus on Rotten Tomatoes that actually got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 60 reviews, which is insane. The consensus was Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. And by the way, this is in caps. They put the consensus in caps. Delivers exactly what it promises: a smoothly directed, impeccably performed documentary capturing the concert event of the year.
Yeah, I would agree with that description 100%. I don't know why I got 100%, other than I guess it did what it wanted.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah, everyone really liked it, and it did what it was supposed to do, which was film the concert and put it on
Probably
It did do
probably
that.
they knew if you gave a bad review, whatever website or newspaper or magazine you write
Well,
for
there's
is
nothing
getting
bad in it.
bankrupt.
Like, to be clear, there was no bad. Like, there was nothing bad to say.
Yeah.
They literally had a camera on Taylor Swift's show. The
It
show
could have
already
been
happened.
it could have been anywhere.
Yeah, it was just happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this was just them filming a concert. So there was no way to do it badly. I mean, I guess there could have been a way to do it badly, but she has too much money for a bad camera crew and all that. So obviously it was going to be directed and shot well. So like, it wasn't acted. There's no acting. It was literally just filming what she did.
And this was released by AMC Theaters, not
Yes.
a major Hollywood studio. So
Right.
fuck you, Hollywood studios. That's literally a big
didn't,
L.
So we
to
didn't
that.
see it at AMC. We saw it at a different theater. So AMC actually licensed it out to other theaters too.
Well, see, they know they're smart.
Yeah, they probably
Shout,
made a lot of money
this is a
doing that
great
too.
win for the
Because
AMC.
we saw Alamo Draft House, which is my favorite movie theater probably of all time. I'm glad we have one near us in DC. So definitely go to one if you can find one. New York has it.
This is a big win for the movie industry, not Hollywood, but the movie industry. For the
Scorsese's probably upset, but yeah.
Christopher Nolan actually gave her props.
Look how many people were there. We went the second
He
night
made
and it was
Oppenheimer.
he did. He had a good movie too, though. So kudos to him as well.
So you're telling me after this, essentially the greatest concert tour of all time, she's now found the love of her life in Travis Kelce.
Maybe, Matt.
Jose, any comments on Taylor Swift or the Kelce pictures and Taylor Swift?
Well, didn't that motherfucker buy a new house for privacy?
Yeah.
Wait, like recently?
Like yesterday, it came out. He bought a new mansion for privacy.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Like, I guess he lived in a normal neighborhood for a rich neighborhood, but
but normal with neighbors, and you could drive up to it and all that stuff. Yeah. Hey, dating Taylor Swift's not cheap. You're in a different. He's in a different tax bracket than we are, but I don't even know if she's in the tax bracket.
She's probably a billionaire after this.
They ran out of tax brackets for Taylor Swift, I think. So, you can't date Taylor Swift and be cheap. That's not possible.
It really is fascinating. So you essentially got the tour experience on the big screen, and people will pay tens of thousands of dollars just to have a way farther, no camera in your face, no screen in your face to do that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
the power of film. Am I right?
Well, yeah, definitely it helped me out because I got to see the show with my wife, who wanted to see it very badly without paying, like $2,000. But I'm glad I didn't pay the $2,000 because the show that I saw was not worth $2,000.
Yeah,
but they probably cut some things out.
I checked with my wife because I was curious, and she follows every single show, so she would know. She knows all the sets. Apparently, they cut 3 songs. So there you
go. People complain. So if I'm reading this right, this was a 1 hour and 15-minute movie. People complained it.
3 hour movie.
169 minutes. Yeah. A 2 hour and 50. People complaining, fuck Oppenheimer, fuck you, Scorsese, with your 3 hour movies. But Taylor Swift, oh my goodness, this can't be any longer.
3 hour movie.
This was we yelled about the 3 hour movies.
I didn't.
So okay, fine. Christ. So I guess 3 hour documentaries are okay, not 3 hour narrative films.
3 hour movies that are good are fine. If they're a bad movie, they don't need to be 3 hours. So you got to, as a director, you got to take that risk. Is my movie a good movie? Can I justify 3 hours? Taylor Swift, for all of I've said about her, she knew very well that she could absolutely make a 3 hour movie, and not a single person in that theater would care at all. And she was right. No one cared. And Christopher Nolan, I think, made the same thing. Like, yeah, people watch this, and most people did. Most people didn't care that it was 3 hours. But if you make a 3 hour movie and it sucks, then it's going to make a bad movie really bad because it's too long. But if it's a good movie and it's 3 hours, no one's going to care. That's my official stance on 3 hour movies. Three hours of anything is long, but it feels longer if it's not fun.
All right.
Question, Ryan? Sure. Are you planning to see the Beyonce movie?
Are they making a Beyonce movie?
Yeah, they're doing the Beyonce concert. It's coming up.
Yeah, I'll see the Beyonce movie. I like Beyonce. I don't know why you're looking at me. I like Beyonce. I probably won't go to the theater to see the Beyonce movie. I'll probably wait till that comes out somewhere else on streaming and watch it there.
Not at the Alamo?
No, not the Alamo.
At the Alamo.
Oh, God.
I just imagine if you have dinner at the Alamo. It's a dinner thing. They serve you dinner. They got waiters and everything. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's just not cheap.
And so that's why probably the singing and dancing was hard.
Yes, a lot of people were like had a lot of food, and there was like a table, like not a big table, but So I think the singing was there, and some people got up and danced in the aisles. But yes, I do think because we saw it in like a fancier theater, there was less dancing. I do think that's probably part of it.
I'm disappointed in Ryan for not jumping up in there and dancing with them, but I'm glad you had fun.
Well, yeah, so it was fun. I did find it fun. Everyone else was having a good time. It was infectious, I will say. So that helps.
I want to talk about Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis.
That's fun.
Two people responsible for our biggest TikTok so far. And we waited months and months for this stupid fight. And what happens on Saturday night? Logan Paul wins by disqualification after Dylan Dennis tries to put a headlock on him, leading to a skirmish between the sides after the fight. What a fucking joke. 1.3 million.
Didn't do that justice, Matt. He tried 3 different MMA moves, none of which connected. And then he got disqualified when security came in and he started swinging at security. He literally tried to cheat 3 times and was unsuccessful at doing so. I can't believe we stayed up to watch this damn thing.
So you people are telling me on the week that Showtime announced that they are not producing boxing anymore, a staple in the boxing community, that the Logan Paul brothers are really the ones who have taken over, I guess, the DAZN and whatever, and this is what you get. You probably have huge boxing aficionados rolling in their grave after that bullshit. And 1.3 million people bought into it, so clearly it worked. All the shit talking, all the literal WWE styled builds to this match, it literally ended in a WWE style ending. And you know what? It's too bad. Finish. It's really too bad what boxing has become after that. There will still be a fan base there, but
boxing should move on.
After I watched that on TikTok, I learned that wow, boxing really is in a sad place right now.
Well, yeah, I think boxing should move on YouTube. Cut the losses.
Might as well. You lost Showtime out of that.
All your best boxers, all your most popular boxers.
Tyson fights and Floyd Mayweather.
But Showtime Ben was getting out the game after HBO.
Yeah. Dennis is not the reason that happened. Right. And I blame him specifically. I will say. So watching the fight, I watched the fight, right? And I mean, so Matt says I love Logan Paul. No, that's true. But Logan Paul has boxed before. But watching him, I've watched a decent amount of boxing, in my life as well. And he's not an impressive boxer. Like
he boxed Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. He's he's just not not very good. He's not, I don't want to say bad. I mean, he's better than I would be, but he's not a super talented boxer. His brother's a better boxer than he is, having watched both of them fight before. And the fact that Dylan Dennis looked significantly less talented than Logan Paul did in that fight.
All due respect, Dylan Dennis is not a striker either.
But boxing is a striking sport.
Yeah, but but we already know Dylan Dennis took it for the paycheck. He was more known for a Twitter.
He's a Twitter troll. Yeah,
he's a troll.
He continued to do it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how you put in that performance and then keep trolling. Just shut up. At that point, you did your thing. You got your money. You sold your tickets. Shut up. You got wrecked. That's the thing. By the way, Dylan Dennis landed 10 strikes on Logan Paul. Logan Paul hit over 100 on Dennis. It's 10. I think you gave me the same amount of time Dylan Dennis had for training. I could land 10 strikes.
I believe
10. 10 strikes. 10. That is almost not 2 hands. He was one less strike away from being able to do it on mostly one hand. That's bad. You didn't fight at all. I actually said to someone, I wish Dennis showed up to fight. And they're like, he did fight. He did not fight. If you hit 10 strikes, you didn't fight. You physically showed up to a fight, but you didn't fight if you got 10 strikes in. Come on.
You know what? You know what? Danny Dillon, whatever his name is. His strategy would be a counter puncher, not realizing that Logan Paul is a counter puncher as well. So they're both just tickling each other's dicks at the end of the day.
But no, because Logan he hit over 100 strikes on him. He had
Well,
him in the corner.
he
and
had
was
to.
absolutely battering him several times.
But he wasn't
battered him.
doing anything. Yeah, I wouldn't say battering. I don't like Dylan Dennis at all, but I wouldn't say like
He had him over. Yes, no. I prefaced with that. I don't believe Logan Paul's an impressive boxer, but the fact that he looked like he had boxed before, and that Dylan Dennis looked like he was literally the first time he had ever walked was this fight. I mean, I saw some punches that were at nothing. He swung at nothing. He's swinging at ghosts out there. I don't have any idea. Like, I know he trained with some big names, right? UFC, like he helped train and prepare some people. Dennis, right? Wasn't he on whose team was he on?
He's on McGregor's team, but he didn't train with McGregor.
Well, he didn't train him, but he was on the training team for McGregor, correct?
Well, training MMA, but for boxing, MMA, he was MMA, MMA. He's with.
Oh, and that's another thing. So Conor McGregor gave his props, said Dennis looked good out there, and I'm actually really disappointed in that because Conor McGregor, I remember his boxing match, and he wasn't actually bad. Like, he was obviously not a boxer, but
he was trolling.
Yeah, but just like, I don't know how everyone involved on the Dennis side of this equation after that performance should literally just shut up. You look stupid. You look incredibly stupid.
See, he did his job.
Well, yes, because his job was to lose to Logan Paul, but he didn't even lose to Logan Paul. Really, he took the coward's way out, getting himself disqualified.
I wouldn't even say lose. He got you to pay for the pay-per-view. But let's be honest. Before the whole Logan Paul fight, you couldn't go outside and get 10 people to know who Dylan Dennis is. Like, do you know what was his big thing? His big thing was being bitch slapped by what's his name? Khabib.
Yeah,
like, that's what he was known for.
Yeah, no, I agree. He played the perfect heel, but
he played the perfect.
But that's only works if he was playing. It only works if it was kayfabe. I don't believe it was. I think he was shooting on him. And if you're shooting on him, like, that's a bad look to look that bad. It's one thing to shoot on him and lose, right? If you get outboxed, you get outboxed. But he did barely fought, and then he got himself DQ'd because he was gonna lose. In round 6, he was gonna lose, and so he went for the double underhook because he wanted to get DQ'd. He was trying to get DQ'd, and then when that didn't work because Paul blocked it, he went for the guillotine because he wanted to get DQ'd, and then Paul blocked it again, and then security came and he swung on security to actually get the DQ. He knew he was out in round 6 because he hadn't won a single round since then. He was already going to lose because he hadn't won any of the first 5 rounds.
Can I ask you a question? Why was Dylan Dennis disqualified?
He swung on security. I believe the official disqualification came.
Yeah, but why was security even in the ring?
Because it was all fake. It was all a joke.
He tried to put
WWE.
He tried to put the guillotine on.
Okay, that's the ref job. The ref job is supposed to break it, not the security guard.
I'm not saying anything other than that's why
they ran it. Kind of suspect though. Wouldn't you think that's suspect though that it's Logan Paul's security guard, but Dylan Dennis is the one that gets fucking disqualified?
Well, yeah, because he tried to do. I mean, listen, he tried to do the MMA moves, and so that's why theoretically, if you look at it theoretically, if it's not fake, and I've said from the beginning, I thought this could be fake. I'm less convinced now, but I thought this could be fake.
I'll tell you, this is fake right now. I'll tell you, there's no bullshit. I'll tell you this is fake. If that lawsuit with Homegirl drops.
Yeah. Agree. 100%.
I will call bullshit.
100%. If all of a sudden that goes away, you're right.
3 months from now, and they're saying, well,
so the thing that
drops.
So the thing that made me think it might not be fake was the mic incident. So I believe I did some research on this. So we saw he threw the mic at Logan Paul, cut his head open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, we saw it at the conference or whatever, the pre-fight thing.
Yeah.
So there's a concussion protocol in the sport that they had to follow, and because he got lacerated on his forehead, his participation in the fight was called into question as to whether or not he'd be cleared because of concussion protocol. To me, and again, you can always say they did that because, kayfabe, they wanted to act, right? Fine. To me, that looked a lot like Dylan Dennis. They sold the fight tickets, right? They'd already filled the stadium. They'd already probably got some pre-ad buys. He didn't want to fight Logan Paul because he knew no matter who he fought, he was going to lose. The backup they had for that fight was a real boxer, legitimate boxer, who would have beat either of them. If Logan Paul versus what the hell is his name? Mike Perry. I don't even remember the
And then you're
name.
like, oh shit, I'm fucked now.
Perry?
Yeah, this Mike.
Okay,
this Mike dude would have wrecked both of them. I checked his career when I saw who he was. Like, I did some research on him. He would have wrecked either of the two of them. And so he was like, if I'm going to lose this fight, I want to lose to the real boxer, not to Logan Paul, so I can keep saying mean shit about his fiance. And so I think he threw that mic at him to try and get the fight thrown out. I genuinely think he wanted the fight thrown out the day before.
Mike Perry, you're right. Mike Perry, I wish Mike Perry took that. It said Dylan Dennis. Mike Perry took that fight because Mike Perry would have fucking slaughtered.
Yeah, he would have worked over both of them. Absolutely. So and they both probably knew that. But Dylan Dennis, I think, knew he was going to lose this fight no matter what because he sucks. And so he was like, I want to lose to the real boxer. I don't want to lose to Logan Paul because then I have to stop making. Oh, apparently I don't. But if his original thought was probably, I can't keep making fun of this dude's fiance if he knocks me the fuck out. Granted, he didn't because of the disqualification. But I think that was genuinely on purpose. He threw that mic on purpose to try and get that called out. Genuinely, I believe that.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far because if it wasn't for Logan Paul throwing the prime at him.
The prime's not going to lacerate your face. The prime's not going to hit concussion protocol. The mic is going to concussion
I tell you this
protocol.
I tell you this right now. If you were to throw a prime bottle at my balls, I'm going to throw that fucking mic. I ain't going to think twice at it. And like, what did I really think? No,
I think he did. I think he didn't. I think he threw it what he did, where he did, because he wanted to get the fight thrown out by the organization. He didn't have to pull out.
You realize how accurate, if the goal with that plan, you're hoping like you're hoping he needs to be accurate one. And obviously when you watch that fight, that motherfucker was not
I didn't say it was like I don't think he was. Can you imagine if this doesn't happen, I'm screwed. But I think that was his plan. Yeah. It obviously didn't work. I'm not saying that it was going to be a surefire, but I think if I don't want to fight this dude because I don't want to lose to this guy and have to eat social media crow for it, yeah, throw the mic at his head. Best case scenario,
they would literally have to have like a WWE, just like when Ricochet and Logan Paul messed up their spot to start a feud. Just start hitting each other. And here's for the rest of your life, everybody. If somebody says wrestling is fake, you just say, so was the Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis fight.
So you can tell it was bullshit at the end of the fight. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge out Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I don't know if that's bullshit. That was bullshit, obviously, but I don't think that proves the rest of it was bullshit. No, you're right. If the lawsuit goes away, then the whole thing is fake.
I think the lawsuit. Wait 3 months from now. 3 months from now, where everything dies down from this fight, and like we've seen on Teams, Logan Paul's girlfriend drops lawsuit.
Yeah,
just wants to move on. It's bullshit.
Right, exactly. That would be the line. Like, Logan already won. Just want to move on. Yeah.
And their ass there, like, who gives a fuck? It was a co-main event. Like, there wasn't even the main event on the card.
I mean, probably drew more attention than the main event did. But
the Roman. I now want to challenge Rey Mysterio for the United States title after that.
Yeah, I'm coming for the belt. Woo! Like, get the fuck out of here.
Probably win it too.
He is gonna win it.
You people make me laugh. All right, what's next, guys? Aaron Rodgers came out on Sunday night, against the Eagles. Aaron Rodgers, we all know week 1 of the NFL season against the Buffalo Bills, he tears his Achilles. It is now we're going into week 7 of the NFL. And last week in week 6, we have seen Aaron Rodgers walk. He does have a boot on, but we've seen him walk, not use crutches, and he is throwing the football around. And that makes people believe, not only from his ambitious social media posts, social media posts, to go on a Pat McAfee that he's as determined as ever to prove people wrong. The big question is Aaron Rodgers specifically returning in the 2023 NFL season for the Jets?
Wait, he broke his leg, right? I mean, his
Tore
leg.
his Achilles heel.
Achilles. Right. What the fuck does it matter if you threw a ball? Your Achilles heel has nothing with throwing the ball.
I mean, you have to walk and run.
He walks as well. I think the walking is probably bigger.
The way I walk is way bigger, but I mean, it depends on where the Jets are at. You would have to look at week
like 15 or 16. So like mid-December.
If there's they're not winning. They're not going to win their division. So realistically, if they have a chance, if they have a shot at the wild card by week 15, 16, and that defense can stay healthy and do some work like they've been doing, I can see Aaron Rodgers coming back. But if they're out of the contentions and it's a fucking Hail Mary shot.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. They're not going to risk Aaron Rodgers for nothing. If they think that they think he might be ready to come back, to be clear, this would be obscenely fast. Even week 15 would be obscenely fast.
Yeah, a 3-month recovery time for an injury that usually takes could take as much as a year. Kobe came back in 8 months. Cam Akers came back in 6 months.
Right.
So Cam Akers was also much younger. And
3 months. A 3-month return is a medical miracle anyway. But to risk it, like if you have no shot at anything, to risk that, to risk re-injury, to risk that maybe you think you're good at 3 months, but you probably could use 4 or 5 or 6 months, and you're at a higher risk of re-injury. Like to put so much risk on nothing would not be worth it, other than the moral victory of fans getting to see Rodgers play in his first season as a Jet more than a couple plays. I don't think that they would do that. I would hope as a Jets fan they wouldn't do that, because I'd rather have him healthy and play a whole season where he can actually maybe lead the team to some real, growth, rather than, a symbolic victory. And then in the offseason, his, Achilles is all tore up from playing on it too early. I don't think it'll take a year though. I think he'll definitely be ready to go
with his alternative medicine that people have talked about on various podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know what
the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing for this injury specifically. Obviously, Rodgers doesn't like modern medicine. He's made that pretty clear. But whatever he's doing seems to be working. So keep doing it. I would hope that every doctor in America would say, if what you're doing is working, continue to do it, because it's healing you. And that's what the ultimate goal of medicine is, not to be right about your politics. It's to have your patients, walk again. And so if it's happening, then let it happen. Although I did say to Matt, it'd be interesting to see whatever he does. Maybe he'll tell us what he's doing, like his actual regimen for healing. It'd be interesting to see, is it scalable? Like, could normal people do it? Or is it super expensive because Aaron Rodgers has got stupid money? And B, could a dad with 2 kids, a 9-to-5 and hypertension also do it? Or do you have to be like Aaron Rodgers? Like, do you have to be a professional football player?
Yeah, but you probably think he's going ham right now in rehab, where most of us can probably go once a day. This motherfucker's going
because he has more time and he's a professional athlete. Right. That's what I mean. Like, I think that the alternate medicine is a fun story for people who have a narrative that they really want to push out. I'm not naming names, but if you got that, then it's a fun story for you. Absolutely. But I think realistically, whatever he's doing is Aaron Rodgers specific. I doubt it could work on that many other people, but I don't know. And they should look into it, because 3 months would be incredible. If he could play again in 3 months after that injury, that would be literally a win
for modern medicine.
Yeah, it'd be or not, or whatever the hell he's doing. But it would definitely be out of the normal. It'd definitely be something worth studying and worth exploring, because that's a crazy recovery.
Let's do it. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. I will go with my heart on this one, even though deep down in my head it says he's probably not coming back in 2023.
No, I don't think so.
But I just want to say on the record, I hope he does, and I want to say on the record on my 3rd anniversary show, there are I will reveal it throughout my life. There are 5 dream guests that will never change. 5 that I hope to have on the show, and God willing, and 50-year run of the Productive Conversations, just 50 years of making content. He is one of those true dream guests.
He'd be something else.
Yes, and I hope you guys are there with me to
Don't
do
take
that.
a Pfizer shot beforehand. He'll make fun of you.
Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, fascinating stuff. So one more story and then just a few more questions after that.
Sure.
Let me tell you guys something, right? You know what one of my new favorite podcasts is? You know, I love Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharp. Those guys make me laugh. The Nightcap Show. You can find it every week on podcasting platforms and YouTube. So this is I'm just gonna play you a clip and then we'll react to it.
Yeah.
This is Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharp talking about flatulence, if you will. But also,
Okay.
you'll see. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here's the clip. Let me know if you hear it, if you can't hear it.
Going to the bathroom in front of a woman, I don't do that. I don't pass, hell no.
Listen, let me tell you what my grandma told me now. The minute she can use the bathroom and leave the door open, that's the one.
She can't do that.
This
That
right
ain't the
here,
one.
I knew she was the one. When she fought in the front of me, yeah.
That's right. Okay. I broke up with a girl for doing that.
Man, stop playing. You left a girl.
The bathroom right there.
She got to get up and go out the room just to
Go
pass gas.
do that. That's disrespectful, man. Stop
Oh,
playing.
you trip. Baby, let that shit out. And listen, I graded too. When she let one out, okay, that was about a 4 right there. When she used the bathroom, she got to close the door too.
She goes to a different area of the house. If we're both home,
Right.
nobody goes to the bathroom in the master bathroom. Nobody. I would drive back to Fox, or I would go to the guest house, or I would send her to the. I was like, you know what? I need something from Whole Foods. I need something from Target. She's like, oh, okay, I'll go get it, and that was my opportunity.
To use the bathroom? We got to get you therapy, baby. You can't live like that, baby. I love you. I love you to death, man. We got to sit down and we got to talk about that.
All right. Nightcap.
It's Shannon Sharp's show, correct?
No, this one's both of them. Shannon Sharp is Club Shay Shay. That's him
Okay.
only. But Nightcaps is him and
It's
Chad
both of them.
Ochocinco.
Okay, gotcha.
So how do we feel about this? Do you
That was funny.
the takes regarding nothing beats. Listen, if you find a woman who would open the door for you while I go in the bathroom, she's the one. Do you agree with that?
No, but no, I'll just say
You're the
no.
married one.
I know, but I'm obviously incredibly uncomfortable discussing this. I don't think that is indicative of anything. I'll just put it that way. I think that's personal preference. I do think the line "we got to get you some therapy, baby" is very funny, and it does sound like he probably needs it. In case it wasn't clear, I disagree that the door needs to be open, but I don't know that you have to evacuate the state in order to use the bathroom. I do think
I would
there's a
go
middle
to
ground
Fox.
between sharing the bathroom and trying to find time in the day where your significant other has left your home to use the bathroom. And I think Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco should both seek that middle ground. But I will say, of the two, if you're fine with it and your partner is fine with it, if that's something that you're good with, watching each other do those different bodily functions, then go for it. I suppose I'm not here to stop you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I do see the irony. How why would some bodily functions be off limits but others beyond, right? Like, why would you be okay with some things but not the other? And that's a fair point, but it just is how it is. I'm with Shannon Sharp on that specific point. Not the whole, like, break up with someone if she fart, like, not all that. Like, again, there's a middle ground between the two of them, and I think that's where most people should aim. And if you land on one side or the other, then that's where you land. You work it out
What's
with
the
your
middle
partner.
ground?
But the middle ground is everyone uses the bathroom in private, but you don't have to leave your home in order to allow that.
Have you ever dumped a girl that farted in front of you?
I don't think I've ever had a girl fart in front of me. So
What have you, Jose?
I dumped girls that farted in front of me. Like, and it was a nasty one. I'm all right.
You're just like, I'm done.
So you're actually
Yes.
doing the Chad Ochocinco, right? You're judging it. Is the 4?
No,
is it a 5? But if it hits a
Shannon
7,
Sharp.
all of a sudden you're done.
No.
You're a combo of the two.
I'm not like. I'm in the middle. Like, I don't want you to fart, like, in front of me and shit. Period. I think that's like, I get like, let me get the fuck out of here vibes.
But in fairness, I think guys shouldn't do that either. I think
Have a
everyone
farting
I don't
contest.
fart.
Yeah.
I don't fart in front of my girl. If I'm with a girl, I ain't farting. I'm holding that shit in. I'm gonna
Are
go
you
to the
walking out?
bathroom.
You
Hand
leaving the
up,
room?
I mean, things
I'm
happen,
like, yeah,
obviously, and that's why you got to
locking the door.
give. I think you got to give everybody a little grace. Things happen, but
We
by
are
and
human,
large,
right?
yeah, do that. Yeah, do that in the bathroom. Both genders,
But
everyone do that in the bathroom whenever
I
you
know
can.
people are comfortable. I know people are comfortable enough to have the door open and do it, or
Yeah, the
get a
door opening
pumpkin
thing.
is like
No,
same thing.
I knew you were. I knew we'd end up here. I was
I,
trying to do
I actually
everything in my.
didn't hear. I
That's
actually didn't hear what he said.
that's the ultimate. If you can handle a pumpkin, you that's
I knew that. I
relationship
knew
right
this
there.
was going there, and I almost said something
That's
to try and
Chad,
preempt it.
I
Chad
actually, I
Ocho,
totally missed
Chad,
out. I should have
Yeah,
been aware
I
of
do
that.
think that
Sorry,
Chad
I
Ochocinco.
apologize.
I
Chad,
do think that
Chad
Chad
Ocho
Ochocinco is
was like,
probably signaling that he's into that. Yeah.
like Chad Ocho was like, that's the one to marry. That's how you know. If you can handle that,
Chad
you marry her.
Ochocinco. You know what? I'm adding him to the top 6. Chad Ochocinco, Shannon Sharp together. No, their podcast just makes me smile. I love this
It's
show
funny.
so
Yeah,
much.
that's funny.
Like with the beyond this segment, which there's definitely no doubt, as long as they make pods, I will give moments on this show on how they talk about. I mean, we want to hear about the Jada Pinkett Will Smith takes. Watch that from them.
I'm sure that was something else because they're like I said, we're a couple, so you got a lot to say, especially because they probably know them both. Like they're both
Dude,
they're
those
all
guys are
celebrities,
they're
they
so
know 'em.
funny. They're the funniest NFL. They're really up there, the funniest NFL players. His name's Chad. He legally changed his name to Chad Ochocinco, which isn't even a word.
No, it's not how you say that either, which is really funny.
He ate McDonald's every day during his Hall of Fame NFL career, arguably.
Yeah, why not? If you can do it.
Shannon Sharp is in the Hall of Fame, and God, they're just so damn funny.
Shannon Sharp, it's a different show, but
not yet, at least.
Shannon Sharp's interview with Dwayne Wade, though. I know
Oh
that's a different
God.
show. So funny.
So what's losing in the NBA Finals or cheating on your wife and causing a pregnancy? How does that compare? Well, right? How does it compare cheating on your wife?
He said, which is worse?
Yeah, yeah. He said, "What's worse, cheating on your wife and causing a pregnancy, or losing in the finals?"
Worse? I couldn't believe that.
What's worse? Again,
You have to think about it too. Dwayne Wade.
he was ready.
He wasn't sure what the answer to that was.
This is exactly why I love podcasting and why anybody could do it. All right, just a few more questions, guys. I have some good ones. Most relatable to my life, other people's lives, and whatever. Let's end this with some questions, okay?
Question time.
Okay. So, do you reach out to an ex and say congratulations if her sports team makes a deep run in the playoffs or maybe win? Like,
No.
for instance, the Philadelphia Phillies. And, they used to like them a lot. Do you say, hey, congrats, Phillies? I mean,
No.
or, you really want them to lose deep down.
No, that's weird to me. Out of the blue, be like, hey, I know that team you like did well. Congrats. It's weird when you tell a friend congrats. Like if the Jets make it to the play through a deep playoff run next year, God willing, a Super Bowl appearance next year with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. If you could say to me, congratulations, Ryan, I'm going to find that weird. Not like offensively weird, but I didn't do it. I'm not on the team. I'm just watching. So, but we're friends. So it's again not offensively weird. Like, oh yeah, sure, thanks. But like, if someone you're not talking to anymore gets a message from you saying, "Congrats on that team you like doing well at the thing they do," that's weird to me. That's weird. I wouldn't do that. I mean, unless you're trying to rekindle something. Like if this is your in to try and start a conversation and to see if you can pick back up, then yes, it's a smart idea to use that. But like if you genuinely just want to say congratulations and you have no ulterior motive, that's strange to me. Don't do that.
What do you think, Jose?
That just screams out desperate.
Yeah.
And pathetic as fuck. But other than that, I mean, damn, that's just plain creepy. Like everybody knows I'm a Yankees fan. Imagine X say that shit to me, I'd be like,
It'd be weird.
I wouldn't. It'll be super weird, and I can't I don't think I'll be fast enough to hit the block button.
Again, the
Mhm.
only
I'll
time
just
that could
block
work
that
is if you're
You're
trying
trying to
restart
get
something,
back in touch.
but then you got to be.
But I wouldn't even.
But then you basically have to hope that the other person is also low key into that idea, because if they're not, like as I said, you're just gonna get blocked.
Mhm.
It's not a high probability shot, in my opinion.
I would
Alright.
if they get back at me. I would have been just like, hey, how are you?
Right, exactly.
Like just to remember, like kind of. I've been like running up and down your mind that you remember what team I like.
Yeah, I agree. Me and Jose, rare occurrence, we're in 100% agreement on this question.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. All right. And I guess we'll save is there ever an appropriate time to reach back to an ex and say hello? We'll say that for
Kind of
another time. But
discuss
the
that,
short
yeah.
answer, I guess that really was the question all along. Is there ever an
What?
appropriate time to reach out to an ex to be a friend again, if anything?
If you want
Be a
to.
friend. Okay, be a friend, or you have interest of rekindling. Because there's a big. You could say you want to be friends, but then realistically, why are you becoming friends if it kind of broke off and she didn't message you or cared?
Mm.
Like you obviously gonna reach out is because you're interested in seeing what's good with that. So realistically, you're kind of just trying to rekindle. Is there a good time? There's never a good time. It's just if you want to scratch that itch, go for it.
Go for
But
it,
just
yeah.
be like, hey, how you doing? And kind of see where that goes. And if it dies out super fast, then you kind of got your answer.
So I'll say, just to answer the question as it was asked, because Jose essentially said that you can never be you don't want to be a friend again. Let's assume someone out there really does want to just become friends with an ex. Got to give them time, because if you do it too soon, it's going to look like Jose said, no matter what. Like you're just trying to rekindle this, get back to where you were. If you give it enough time, if you give everyone a chance to move on, like maybe you see that she's dated, like, but don't do it right away. But like you've dated some more people, she's dated some more people. I don't mean one person, because then it looks like you've gotten jealous. Like you've moved on, she's moved on. It's clear. And then you want to reach out again to try and be just friends. You could give it a try. I think it is probably
Also,
it's very hard probably to be good friends with someone that you've been romantically entwined with. I would even I have to admit that, and you know me, I'm forever an optimist about love and relationships. But I think that that's very difficult to do, and it won't work at all unless you both very, very obviously moved on.
it also depends on who left who. Like if Matt left
Yes
the
and no.
girl, and Matt wanted, it'd be a lot easier if Matt was the one that left the girl and be like, hey, I thought of you. What's good? Like, how are you? That's an easy way in. But if the girl left Matt, right, and just cold turkey and just shut him off completely, it's 10 times. I wouldn't even touch it. I would wait for her to come to me. If she never comes, then it never comes. But
It could be, yeah, I could see that. I think it could go the other way though. You break up with somebody,
yeah,
and then they could be mad at you. So then you reach out
right.
later and be like, hey, but they're like not like happy with you. So I could see it going the other way too.
Right. They're not happy, but they're always, always, always. If I'm the one that left the girl, I find it easier when I'm the one that left the girl. It's easier for me to reach out because then they'll say, hey, whatever. And then after a few minutes, you kind of have to get to that awkward conversation. It's like, what happened? Why did you do this? And you kind of explain your way of thought, and you kind of just, all right, you can move on and then become friends. Right.
I guess
But I find 10 times if Matt ever broke up with me and left me, it's 10 times harder for me to be like, hey, Matt. Like me messaging Matt, like, hey, Matt.
Right. You're going for someone who
how
said,
are
I don't
you?
want to talk to you anymore, and being like, what's up? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Pretty deep stuff.
Matt, you better not leave me. All right, Matt. Don't.
I promise. So, Jose, this might be a question for you and me, though, with the dating apps. But Ryan, you can, of course, be involved.
Sure.
What happens when you match with one person multiple times on an app? Like, what is that? Why do we keep matching? Do we actually are interested in each other? Do we want to be annoying? Like, what is that?
Have we?
And you never met.
let's say 10. Okay, we matched, but we never conversated. Like we never communicate through the app.
And
So let's say I matched with a girl on
yeah.
Tinder.
No, I'm saying you match with a girl on Tinder. You get off Tinder. You restart your matches. You match with her again, and you do it again, and to keep that cycle.
But I never messaged her. Is what I'm saying. We just keep matching. But we never like.
How
I never
about both?
say, "Hey, what's up?"
There's one scenario. Yeah, you don't actually talk to each other. Maybe you attempt to talk to each other, or at least maybe you attempt to talk to them, and there's no answer. Or the other scenario, you have little conversations here and there. It's like, why aren't we, meeting in person?
There's two ways. Tinder. You can just like keep swiping.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody does, just swipe right, because you know how they be like on Tinder. Well, Ryan wouldn't know this. Like they'll keep as soon as you get on Tinder, they'd be like, "Yeah, 90 some odd match, like girls interested in you," but they never yet unless you pay for it, you never see who it is, and half of them are fucking bots anyway. So usually most guys be like, you know what, fuck this, and just. But you swipe right on everybody. Don't even look who it is. Just swipe right, and you keep matching. But if you were like Facebook dating, you have to see the girl. So when I match her, if I match with Tinder, and then I match with her on Facebook dating, then you kind of know she's interested in you, and you kind of just like, if you're interested in back, go after it. But it depends. That's a like tricky one because I just swipe right on everybody, even the fact they think I'm interested, but I really I'm just the swipe right type of guy.
Right. Yeah, I think honestly, actions speak louder than words. If you're not making plans, we keep matching multiple times. Somebody's trolling somebody at this point.
I wouldn't even say that. I think as a guy that you're expected, most women probably, I'll give you like 80% of the women probably on there expect the guy to make the first move, except for Bumble. Except for Bumble, where the girl has to make the first move first. In order, they have to initiate. They always expect, in their minds, like, damn, homie, I've been matching on every fucking dating site, and I haven't heard from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just a bot, they're gonna think you're a bot, or they're gonna wait for you to message them back.
Right. And then for those, if you actually do message and they don't respond and you keep matching, then don't bother.
Oh, then it's like, all right, you're like,
then they're just swiping right on everybody, like Jose does.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then the next dating apps. So I was watching a TikTok about this guy's asking people on the street, "What do you think of dating apps?" And a lot of people are negative; they hate them and online dating. So the question is, are you the one who's bad at online dating if you hate it? Or are these dating apps just destined to fail for some people? If that makes sense.
Those are like two very different.
All right, let's restart then. My question on the dating apps. If you hate dating apps, is that more on you not being successful at the dating app, quote unquote successful?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it, the other way around and it's just maybe not your thing?
So there's enough people now. They've been around long enough that there's been people who have started families with matches on Tinder, right? Like they've married. And so I would say just genuinely, like if you personally don't like dating apps, it probably has to do with a lack of success on dating app, which is probably just you. Or maybe a lack of confidence in yourself, and you're not really putting yourself out there in a way that makes sense for a dating app. But I would say that you have to be equally as confident to date people you meet in real life. Again, I've never used a dating app. All of my dates I met beforehand, people that I met in my daily life. And so, I mean, you could easily, and there's people who do be like, oh, dating is really hard. Like, you have to, the way that I, met my wife, the way that that happens, like you have to talk to people, get to know people. And it's hard to figure out like when to do that. Like you can't just go to someone that you've only talked to at a party once and necessarily like start up another conversation unless maybe you see, like, I know there's people I talked to after like seeing them at multiple parties, right? Or like seeing them in multiple other scenarios, in like, so at that point you would talk for a while. And there's people who hate that because that requires a lot of like talking, face-to-face interactions with genuinely a complete stranger, not even someone like that you've messaged back and forth with. Like, at least when you've messaged with someone, you have a sense of a person, right? You know how they kind of speak, you know, the certain things about them when you get there. When you just walk up to a stranger, you don't know anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, that's like that's also really hard to do. And for them, dating apps are probably way better because they can put out the information they want people to know off rip, and they can have that conversation in a low stake setting where you're just messaging, getting to know each other just through words. You don't have to worry about anything else. So I think that, yeah, no matter whatever you think about dating, it's probably just because you're bad at it. And not in like a mean way. I'm not like, oh, you're bad at it, get good at it, because I would probably be very bad at online dating. I don't really understand how it works.
Come on, Ryan.
But
give yourself more credit, Ryan.
Maybe not. Maybe I'd be great at it. I don't know. I've never done it. But that's the kind of the point. Like, if I said I don't like Tinder, right? That doesn't mean anything. I've never even used the thing. It's just I'm comfortable with something else. And so I think that, yeah, if you go around saying I don't like online dating, it's probably because you're not having a lot of success in online dating, but a lot of people have. And so I'd find it hard pressed to say that online dating is bad because a lot of people have used it very successfully. So
and started families, as you said.
Right. I think it's more just maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're not great at it. Maybe you crave a personal connection that you can't get earlier. Maybe you're better maybe you're better on the fly, less curated conversation. I don't know, but I would say that it's more you being bad at it than it being a bad concept.
I kind of disagree with the whole you being bad. It's really impossible being bad at it.
Well, not successful.
It's it's like it depends. It's like, think of online dating as fishing. Right. You're depending on where you're fishing. Well,
continue. You're fine.
It depends on your intentions and what are you truly looking for. You're trying to like me. I think if you're a woman and you want something really serious, 9 out of 10 times, if you're on Tinder and you're not paying for it, you want the free version, you're kind of getting me and Matt. Me and Matt are just looking for a good time. So if you're looking for a wifey material and you're on Tinder that is free with the rest of us, you're 90% of what you're looking for is going to be us. We're sending dick pics. We're telling dumb jokes.
Hey, I don't say.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Matt, you want to co-sign on all this?
I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is,
you get that.
If you're getting that type, 9 out of 10 guys you're swiping or you're interested in is what you're getting. You pay for what you get, basically. So when you're online, unless you're going, most of those are like Match where you're paying $29.99 every month. You're gonna get serious people, which now ups your ante of getting something serious. But like I said, it depends on where you're fishing in that sense. So when they hate, I get it. For a woman, it sucks. It probably does. You're probably getting 100 messages from 100 dudes, and 100 dudes saying, "Let me see what's under. Show me a picture," or "Let me see this. What's your Instagram?" So they're getting straight up harassed. I totally get it. And then when there's an ugly dude that's 400 pounds on it, trying to get the best looking model on the damn thing and gets no looks. I get it. You also have to when you're on online dating, you have to be realistically, you have to ask yourself, what do I really want? And kind of look at yourself and put you on a real notion of who you are as a person and what you can offer, and kind of go for that. Because you shouldn't be online dating. I mean, you can swipe right on a 10, be my guest, but be kind of realistic that the chances of you living in your mama's basement, working as a manager at Dunkin' Donuts, and this girl's living in Manhattan, doing God knows some high-end job, chances are it ain't gonna go as well as you think it is. Chances are she'd probably be like, "Hey, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I run a McDonald's on Connecticut Avenue." Chances are she's gonna just be like, "I'm done." So you also kind of lower your
So that's
expectancy.
why.
Be realistically, if you come with a game plan, you straight. You should be fine. But if you're thinking tomorrow I'm going to sign up for Facebook dating and I'm going to find the woman of my dreams, of course that shit's going to crash and burn.
I mean, not
Damn,
necessarily, but
Jose,
probably, yeah.
Jose, you might have figured out online dating for a lot of people there.
Well, I want to say this too. I
Well,
want to say that I want to go forward and say this because I think people should really start trying to mix in the in-person dating into their online, because I think most people I know, and I have a lot of friends who are coupled up now. They're not all married, but some of them are, and the rest of them are usually with partners they've been with for a while. But
you have any single friends?
Matt is single. You are single as well.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about women. Jeez.
Oh,
Louise.
single women? No.
Oh,
Genuinely,
thanks,
no.
Ryan.
I have a couple of friends who are women. None of them are single. Some of them are married. But anyway, so my point is that I think that most people are dating almost exclusively online now. And to me, that means you have to date a certain type of way, certain type of people, certain type of expectations. You talked about the guy in Connecticut Avenue running the McDonald's in the high-end executive in Manhattan. You know where it might get a little easier for you now, depending on how funny you are, how charming you are, what you look like. What if you meet that person out in Manhattan? You're in a dark bar and you start talking to somebody. It's not going to come up instantly that where you work. You can be charming, you can be funny, you can be handsome, you can be a lot of things before they find out where you work, or you find out where she works or he works. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw this out here. In person gives you a lot more leeway in how the conversation goes, because it's not planned. When you're sitting there click-clacking on your thumbs, it's curated. It's like an algorithm. And you guys maybe don't even know it. But like this is what I say first, then they come back with this, and I hit them with this. Like, I mean, we've talked about it on the show a bunch of times, like the ways you go, like say this, and then you go there, and then you do this, you feel this out.
You will know it's
when you're
funny.
in person, you don't. It doesn't. It's not linear like that. It just happens.
Men, Ryan.
So I think that people should add more of that in. Obviously, online dating is super helpful for a lot of people, as I described earlier. I'm not taking any of that back, but I do think go out there, experience the world, meet new people. You might find somebody.
Fucking men to that. And I agree. I really agree with you, Ryan, on that hard. Especially, I remember one time somebody simply asked, like, what do I do? It's like, she was like, where what was it? No, she asked, what did I do over the weekend? So I explained, I was in New Jersey doing this, that, and the other. And she said, did an AI write this? Unfollow. So it can feel that, it does feel formulaic, very much so. And especially in the last few months in particular for me, and I definitely have gone into bad habits, maybe because it's just been so long, and whether it's being impatient or what, and then understanding is like, wow, I am better than this. I am not showing my true self. I'm not turning myself to 11. And hearing that it is true, especially the just going out there part and understanding, use the app as just a planning tool. I do think one thing is good if you could FaceTime them before too, because you do have to meet the person twice. And I think that helps. And I probably, for the rest of my time dating, I probably will ask, can we FaceTime first? And I do think that'll start something. And for somebody who's had legitimate relationships off of those apps, that definitely very much work as a start for that. So I'm not as cynical about it. I literally just look at it as a way to talk people, especially in the stalemate era. And whatever happens, happens. And I just have faith that it'll happen someday. And I really believe that. Just have to have some patience, understand where you're at in life, and just love yourself over everything, and you should be all right.
Love yourself. Love each other. Love yourself.
Yeah, and find somebody.
Every guy. I like how you say love yourself. A lot of guys do that at night. Loading ones.
Lonely guys love themselves.
Damn,
actually,
Jose.
I think they loathe themselves.
Oh man, sometimes that is definitely true. I'm just saying, I don't need no woman to fulfill my life 100%. Be nice.
Take your power. I like it. Take your power.
There you go.
Remember, for me, you have to like the podcast first if you're gonna date me, or at least you have to respect. Yeah, no better.
Matt's
You
a father.
You generally have to respect it at least.
Matt is a father.
And I'll tell you
so if you don't
one
love,
thing.
if you don't love his kid, you don't love Matt.
And especially appropriate for this third anniversary. I know for a fact within the next 50 years, this will be a legitimate brand that makes legitimate revenue. And ever since I started the show, particularly my dating life hasn't been as, we'll say the word successful as it's before. And I haven't dated long-term since I've had the pod. The most was a 2-month relationship. And she respected it. So at the end of the day, this is a big pursuit for a lot of people, not just me. And if you don't at least respect, you don't have to listen to it or like it. You probably shouldn't listen to it at some points. I mean, in the sense that, like, you know, if I apply my everyday life, like anyone who's married to a radio host or podcast, like you think, you know, Big Cat's wife, stuff he says is she listens. But anyways, the point of the matter is you just have to respect the show. So I can understand if I have a chance with someone, at least they respect it. So.
Respect.
And I know it's going to work out. If they don't think so either, see ya. Fuck you. I don't care.
There you go.
You have a 3-year-old son, Matt, and you're going to protect him.
You're damn right. This is going to be
protect him from the mean women.
This is a great show, and it's going to be even better. And it's going to lead to job opportunities. It's going to lead to inspiration, and it's going to lead to legitimate content that makes your world
and
better.
Eventually a date for Matt. We're almost there. Me and Jose are almost there.
I'm going to have to reply. I've asked for enough dating advice on this show. I have no choice but to explain what's happened. I haven't gone on a date since. I've definitely canceled some dates.
That's an indictment on me and Jose. We're going to have to turn that around.
But don't worry.
I was thinking I was thinking, Matt, maybe one day we can take the podcast and we go on like in speed dating. Go to the city and just try one of those speed dating rounds.
That'd be funny.
I've seen people do this trend on TikTok where they do speed dating on the thing. We make a show.
I would totally do that.
Listen, I know.
Yeah, Brian in the corner just recording while we just.
Oh yeah, I'll have the camera.
With every girl.
Don't speed date the cameraman. He's married.
One of the best things I've ever heard on this show is you don't know who that special person is. You don't know that they exist. So whoever that is, we can look back at the 3rd anniversary show and say, here's me talking about you before I meet you. And it's going to be dope.
That's true.
All right. One last question.
All right.
Or 2 questions because one's short. Is you follow somebody on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or OnlyFans. Do you think that unfollowing somebody from a social media account is the ultimate sign of disrespect? No. Now, I should probably share the story that I got out of this. So I was talking with somebody for a little bit. Went on a couple of dates. Both agreed that we were probably better as friends. Then, don't talk for a little bit. And you know what? I'm in a place where I would like some more friends beyond, who I podcast with. Other non-podcaster friends. So I was like, you know what? I will pursue this. I generally, for somebody I was briefly interested in, and we friend zoned each other. That's fine. I was the one who said we should be friends. But anyways, and they didn't really talk to me that much. It's like, okay, fine. This is absolutely looking back. Get back in touch a little bit, and she claimed she was sick for a long time. Like, she must have been sick for like 3 weeks. In the last 3 weeks that we talked, she said, let's hang out. No, she didn't. She confirmed it wasn't COVID. She was just sick. So, we just decided to hang. She said she would hang out as friends and stuff. And like that, and like do fall things. And, then the conversation died out. Didn't talk much. Didn't say anything ill will or anything bad. So I was like, okay, you said you want to be friends, but we're not making the plans to be friends or to hang out outside. That's fine. It doesn't seem to be much of a friendship here. And we're not talking on the reg. So whether this was right on me or not, I will say that I unfollowed her. Then I get a text
Salty, aren't you?
No, I'm not. So I don't care. I'm just saying this for the content's sakes. I genuinely don't care.
Wow.
For then, a few days later, I get thanks for the unfollow, rude emojis and a rude vibe. I didn't respond. There's nothing to respond. I don't have to explain myself. And I genuinely thought thinking about another story that I once unfollowed somebody that I dated much longer. And at this point, we decided, we're moving on with our lives. Them too. They responded, "Why'd you unfollow?" In fact, Instagram was the one that ratted me out as a suggested follower. So now I've had a couple examples of this, people being upset about me unfollowing them. And then I thought, after all this, unfollowing somebody must be the ultimate sign of disrespect. Or do they care enough about me that they were upset that I unfollowed them?
Obviously they care.
No, now I'm gonna feel bad.
I will also say we have been, as a society, conditioned to feel disrespect over something that is frankly stupid.
Yeah, there's literal news stories about this person unfollowed this team,
Right.
like an athlete unfollowed this team.
Because I mean, listen, we're all of us, by virtue of being, with these microphones right now, are a little guilty of this. So I'm not trying to preach too much, genuinely, but we all have this thing, right, where we want everyone to like us, and we want everyone to prove, like, we want to have a collection of people to say, look at all these people who like me and find me interesting and want to hear from me and want to see what I'm doing. We want that. We've been conditioned through social media to want that. It's been that way since 2010, probably. It's certainly now, if it wasn't back then. And so I think that ultimate sign of disrespect, no. You could certainly be more disrespectful to people than that. Is it disrespectful? Yeah. And will people see it as disrespectful? Yeah, 100%. Because again, we've been conditioned to seek that validation. And so when we don't have it, when we don't get that validation, we get very, very upset. So I do think that to answer your question, is it disrespectful? Yes. Ultimate disrespectful? No.
Well, see, that's maybe it is better to hit the mute button sometimes.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about mute versus whatever, but yeah.
Unfollow.
I usually just restrict out of sight, out of mind. And plus I won't hurt their feelings.
Well, apparently, I guess I hurt their feelings by unfollowing them. And to those people I've unfollowed and I hurt your feelings, I am genuinely sorry. I wouldn't have done it if I knew it would have upset you.
I would have been like, I'm generally don't give a fuck. And just move it.
Well, I thought that's how they would feel. There's definitely people.
You're under no obligation to follow someone, so don't feel like you need to follow someone just because we've been conditioned. If you don't want to follow someone, don't follow them.
Yes,
so get over it.
No longer interested.
As for
Plus,
you too.
Anyways, they said that they were going to do fall things with me, and I see him do a fall face with someone else.
That's a little petty, but I won't lie to you. I won't pretend that that's not a little petty, but you're allowed to, for whatever reason you want, petty or otherwise, to be like, yeah, I don't want to follow this person anymore. I don't want to see their pictures. I don't want to see their posts. You're allowed to do that. Anyone's allowed to do it. It's a free country. So I'm with you.
So don't respond back like, hey, F you for not following me.
I wouldn't, because then it goes from like a little petty to like significantly.
Right.
But
all right. The last thing to talk about here to complete the 3rd anniversary show is, do you ever look yourself in the mirror and just say, man, look at that sexy motherfucker?
Every night at the gym.
Obviously not.
Why not?
I've never said that sentence ever, actually.
Well, I'd be like, every time I'm on this podcast, I look at Ryan like, damn, that's a sexy motherfucker. I can't wait to be like him one day.
One
One
person one time told me, this was a man, by the way, this was not a woman, before anyone asks, but this person didn't like me very much. And when asked by a third party, I didn't ask, I didn't care. Why don't you like Ryan? The response was his face and his voice. And so that sticks with me sometimes.
We need to find this person.
No, we don't. We definitely don't. But I just think about that sometimes. So to answer your question, no, I've never been like, oh, you sexy. No, doesn't come up.
Why
But
not?
more times I think, wow, there's people out there who hate me for my face and my voice. Now that's impressive. Imagine being hated for two things that you can never fix. And so that powers me instead. And that's, again, it helped me develop a personality. So there you go.
I like that. What a great way to end it.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you like it, Matt. The
Well,
therapist,
Ryan, you're
not so much,
proving
but
you're proving that you are the fucking man.
that's right. You don't have to have a good face
There you
or
go.
voice to talk into a YouTube video. You'd think you would. You'd think that would be needed, but that turns out they can't stop you.
Man, don't give up on your dreams, my friends. I leave you with that. And the 3rd anniversary show comes to an end. Here's to many more years of great content. And then let's make sure that year 3 is even better than the 2 years prior.
Absolutely.
Ryan Page, Jose Rivera, thank you so much for an awesome 3rd anniversary show.
Thanks, Matt.